Ultra-processed foods provoke hormonal responses that can derail appetite regulation, metabolic stability, and emotional balance in ways that differ sharply across age groups. Teenagers, adults, and seniors each experience unique vulnerabilities, yet the underlying danger is the same. These foods distort the hormonal signals that should protect the body from overeating and metabolic collapse. When leptin, ghrelin, insulin, and cortisol become misaligned, often because of years or decades of exposure to processed foods, the result is a biological environment in which cravings intensify, weight gain accelerates, and long-term health deteriorates far more rapidly than most people realize. In teenagers, hormonal disruption is particularly severe. Puberty involves dramatic fluctuations in leptin and ghrelin, and ultra-processed foods magnify these swings in damaging ways. High sugar, high-fat meals cause exaggerated spikes in ghrelin, the hormone that signals hunger, even after the stomach is physically full. This means teens can eat large quantities of snacks, sweets, or fast food and still feel hungry shortly afterward, creating a pattern of chronic overeating. At the same time, ultra-processed diets blunt leptin sensitivity. Leptin normally tells the brain when enough calories have been consumed, but when teens regularly eat processed foods, leptin's signal becomes muffled, tricking the brain into believing the body is still hungry. Add insulin spikes from sugary beverages and refined carbohydrates, and teens face hormonal chaos that can set the stage for early insulin resistance. Cortisol, which is naturally higher during adolescence due to emotional volatility, becomes even more elevated when teens rely on processed foods for coping, further promoting fat storage and increasing appetite. These early disruptions can hardwire dysfunctional hunger patterns that persist well into adulthood. Adults face a different but equally dangerous set of hormonal consequences. By the 20s and 30s, most people assume their metabolism is stable, but ultra-processed foods steadily undermine that stability. Highly refined meals cause rapid insulin spikes followed by steep crashes in blood sugar, leaving adults feeling tired, unfocused, and hungry again far sooner than they should. This roller coaster effect not only encourages more eating, but over time exhausts insulin receptors, pushing the body toward prediabetes. Ghrelin patterns in adults become irregular as well. Processed foods cause ghrelin to drop quickly after eating, but then rebound faster and more intensely, increasing cravings even without an actual need for energy. Leptin resistance becomes increasingly common in people who frequently consume processed meals, meaning their bodies store fat more easily while simultaneously feeling less satisfied after eating. Cortisol, which many adults already struggle with due to chronic stress, becomes even more disruptive when combined with these foods. Ultra-processed diets amplify cortisol spikes, slow metabolism, undermine sleep quality, and further stimulate appetite, especially for sweet and salty foods. Adults trapped in this hormonal cycle often feel as though they are losing control of hunger, not realizing that it is the diet, not their willpower, that has destabilized the system. For seniors, hormonal responses to processed foods are even more damaging. Aging naturally weakens metabolic efficiency, reduces muscle mass, and increases inflammation, all of which magnify the harm caused by ultra-processed diets. Older adults often experience reduced leptin sensitivity, meaning they may eat more than needed without realizing their body is storing excess calories as fat. Processed foods accelerate this decline. Their lack of nutrients and high energy density make it easy for seniors to exceed their caloric needs while remaining nutritionally depleted. Ghrelin regulation becomes more erratic with age, and ultra-processed meals worsen this instability, leading to sharp fluctuations in appetite that can cause seniors to alternate between undereating and overeating, both of which harm metabolic and immune function. Insulin resistance is particularly dangerous in older adults because it increases the risk of diabetes, cognitive decline, and cardiovascular events. Yet, ultra-processed foods induce some of the highest insulin spikes, worsening metabolic vulnerability precisely when the body is least equipped to manage it. Cortisol regulation also declines with age, and processed foods intensify inflammation, stress hormone production, and visceral fat accumulation. Seniors may mistakenly believe these changes, fatigue, irregular hunger, weaker immune responses are normal aging, when in reality, they are accelerated by decades of dietary damage. Across the lifespan, the pattern is disturbingly consistent. Ultra-processed foods manipulate hormonal systems in ways that push the body toward overeating, fat storage, and metabolic dysfunction. The food environment is engineered to override hunger signals, confuse the brain's appetite regulators, and disrupt the hormonal balance needed to maintain stable energy and health. What begins as occasional consumption in childhood or adolescence can evolve into chronic hormonal dysregulation in adulthood and severe metabolic fragility in old age. The warning is clear. Ultra-processed foods do not simply add excess calories. They sabotage the hormonal systems that keep appetite, weight, metabolism, and stress in balance. Teens lose the chance to develop healthy hunger signals. Adults are pushed toward insulin resistance and emotional eating. Seniors face accelerated metabolic decline and heightened disease risk. Without recognizing how powerfully these foods distort hormonal regulation at every stage of life, people may continue eating in ways that silently dismantle their metabolic health year after year.